Hi my muddy people, welcome back. I'm Nat at Mud Magic. I'm just about to do a bit of carving, and I've had a lot of people ask me about carving my flowers and how I do it. So I thought I'd just show you, maybe fast forward it a bit. People ask me how I do them so uniform, but they're not. So I thought I'd just show you. So first of all, I cover it all in all different kiwi underglaze colours. So I haven't done I haven't trimmed it yet because it was too soft. It's a bit better now, so it's at leather soft leather hard, not dry yet, because the rim will dry quicker. I've already started. So what I do is I start every flower by doing the circles in the middle first, because then you know where to go with your petals. And then I use this tool from Diamond Core, which is the L3. So it's got the bigger ball on that side and the little ball on that side. I'm just going to use a little ball for this exercise. And then I'll come back in with this Zium tool, and it's got the bigger, I'll use that side for most of the carving away, which you'll see. But it has got the smaller side, which I do use if I need to get into any little smaller sort of areas. So I just go for it. So I do the little circle first, and then I just start carving. I hope you can see the petals from there. So I just free carve them like that, the first one. And then I always have a brush for the little bits, and then go up here and do the next one. And you can do them bigger, littler, whatever you want. And then next one. And just, that's literally all I do. Just go around like that. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, my hand's probably in the way. It's hard to get the angle. I've tried a few different angles. It's a bit hard to get the right angle. And I can't watch while I'm carving to see what you can see. Hopefully you get the idea. And then when you get to the last one, sometimes there's not enough room and I just do like a hump over, but there's probably enough room for a little one there. And then all I do is the 3 lines for the petals. All around in the petals. Like that, and that's one done. So then what I do then is I like to over carve. I'm always doing too much of anything really. So what I like to do is then I like doing the halves on the rim as well, so I might put a half one here. So again, I'll start with the 2 circles in the middle, dig out the middle one just a little bit, and then I always like to start with a full petal. I find that easier. So rather than starting with a half petal off the side, I'll start with a full petal there. And so then, because you've got your full petal, then I'll go this way and just see where it's just going to naturally end. And I just, for me, find that works easier. And then you might think, well, it's going to come back in there. And then I just go around, and if you hit the other flower, which this one will just hit the other flower, and then I kind of, in the air, keep going with my tool so that I know where it will rejoin. Again, it's just how I do it. And then I sort of think about, well, that's where the petal is, so it'll go to about there. And then a little one in there. And then again, I go back and do the 3 lines in each petal. So that's how I line up on the edge. Always do a full petal first. And I do that everywhere. So just say I want to put a flower in behind this one. So I always start with a full flower. So if I want to put a flower in behind this big flower, I'll start the circle quite close to it so that I know the petal is going to hit it. The double circle. Carve it out. And then I'll start where I know I'm not going to hit the flower, so I can get a full petal. I always start with a full petal. There is no exception to that rule for me. Don't have to. And then I am not at all artistic, so this is a really basic, simple design. It's very forgiving because it's kind of cartoony, I feel like. And all this is going on to my tablecloth, so I'll just take the tablecloth out and shake it later. Think about where that would have ended. So that petal's going behind, and then you kind of envisage behind, so I pretend that that is where it will go, and then it would come up there and down there. And then do the same, so you go up to where you'll hit the flower, and then in the air, just where the petal would have gone, and then keep going. And then you go like that, do your 3, and then at the end, I carve all the excess underglaze off to reveal the white clay behind. So what I will sometimes do here, because these little bits in here I might forget later, so I'll change to this tool to the thicker side and just dig all that out now, just so I don't forget later. So you just get rid of a little layer of clay and the underglaze colour, and you're going back to the white clay. Like that. Then you can just keep going round and round. So then just go, oh, maybe I want a half or one at the bottom here, but I'm going to carve that corner of clay off, so I'll probably just do it here. Do that. Usually I will have trimmed it first, so I don't normally do it this way, but, and then wherever a full petal will just go there. And then that will kind of line up, and then if I do end up carving that off, well, it doesn't matter, it'll just go back to white anyway. And then that petal just fit in there, and you can just get those, because it's still a bit wet down the bottom here, it's not carving out very well. That doesn't really matter, so I'll just clean all that up with my little trusty brush. And then the clay out there is going to go anyway. Okay, so that'll probably do. I mean, I can just do, because I did the other side, I can do that, but that's probably all going to go anyway. And then the petal would be somewhere in the middle there. Do the 3 lines. Like that. And that's how easy it is. So then if you wanted to come over here, and the other thing I try to think about is the colour, so I don't want to put like start the flower in the centre of this, or it'll be all yellow, so I'll probably start the circles over the blue and the yellow. I mean, you can't always help, it doesn't matter, but, and then scratch out the middle, and then just start again. That. Probably fast forward some of this anyway. I love watching stuff in fast forward, so cool. See, you can see what I mean by they're not uniform. Little one and this big one. That doesn't matter. Once it's all finished, don't notice it. It just looks like it's on an angle anyway. Okay, there we go. And then put the lines in the petals. Like that. And then you just have a look at it and go, right, there's a big hole here, so I want to fill this in. So I might start the circle here. See how it's just so freehand, it just doesn't matter. And it's actually nicer up here. It's a bit wet at the bottom still. And then go up and over and around. Oh, that's much nicer. You can see it's carving so much nicer. Kind of round. Quite line that up. And then that will go behind. So again, I kind of just pretend and I would come back in about there. And then I would do another one, would go up there, up and around and down, so you're not going to really see that petal at all. And then this one would go up, around, down, and then up and down, like that. And then this one would probably come up there, down and up, like that. And then the 3 lines. And normally I have trimmed this before I do all this. So normally I would also have put underglaze in the foot and done the foot, and I might come back and do that once I've trimmed it. So that gives you a bit of an idea. And then I might put, yeah, I might put one really hidden in here. So that can sometimes be a bit harder to do because you can't do your first full petal. So I said before, I never break that rule, but now I'm going to. So up, and then consider where it would go, and around and down. So you're not really going to have much of a petal. I've never done that before. And around and down. And then up and around. That one will probably get carved, trimmed off when I trim it. And then up and around, up, like that. And then up and around, and you might get a little bit there. So then you just carve out that little bit in there, like that. There we go. So then when you've done that all over everywhere, then you come back with this tool and you dig out all the little extra pieces. In here. Just like that. Then that one's already done. There's a little bit in here. And then you will get bigger areas to do as well, but you know, if you leave bigger gaps between the flowers, you'll get bigger areas. That's all I do. And you can see that you're getting some white relief behind the flowers from where you get rid of all that extra. and some of the clay, because then it makes the flowers go more 3D, a bit 3D while you're doing it. Right up to the flower petal. So really the line that you're carving sort of disappears anyway. And then I get rid of the colour on the rim as well, because I want a white rim. It's just personal preference. So then in here you might have, like, just say we put a flower here. So if I go, say, here, dig out that, and then you get your full petal, and then you hit your other one. Think about where it will go to about there, and then that would start up there and go around, so that would sort of go around like that. And then up and around and down and up and around like that. And like that. So again, you can see they are not uniform. But when I put another flower next to it, you won't even notice. So normally I do all the flowers first and then come back in and do the background, but just because I want to show you. So then you can see here I've got a lot more white that I can get rid of in here. So at the end I would come back and I would get rid of all of this, which is why I wanted to show you this part. Just to make sure you don't go over your flower. Done that before. Get rid of all of that. So when you're going in between the flowers in the tiny little spaces, you've really got to think about what's a petal and what's a background. You don't want to carve out a petal. And then you can just come over it and just get rid of any little bits that are left in that are coloured, like that. And then get it off the rim if you want. I'll wait till I carve inside. I'm just gonna carve in the rim as well. I already started a couple inside the rim. So I'm gonna go around the rim like that as well. So that's it. So you'll see it come out of the kiln. I'll fix all this up as it dries. It'll be easier to fix up. But that's it. It's easy as that. And then in the end you have all these white relief areas behind the flowers and it looks great. So I hope that helped a little bit. I'm sorry my hand was probably in the way for the most part, but it might have helped somebody. So thank you very much for joining. Stay muddy and have a magic day. Bye.